now ready to install the backplate for our CPU cooler. We've got an LJ1851 socket, so for it we're going to need to have these pins pulled all the way to their outer setting. So to move them, you're just going to need to free the little clips up on each side of the pins, and then you're able to slide the bracket all the way to its outer setting. Okay, so that's all the clips moved to their outer setting. The other thing you'll notice, we do have some double-sided adhesive, so you are able to stick this to the back of the motherboard. This is just a temporary build for me, so I'm just going to set it into place. Then you're going to want to get the standoffs labelled LJ1700, and we'll screw one onto each corner. Great to see that our fans are already pre-installed to the radiator, so one less thing to do. And if we remove the plastic protection from our pump, you'll see that we've got thermal paste pre-applied. So the only step that we're going to need to do is install the Intel bracket. So it just simply slides into place, and then if we push down, it's going to lock into place. I'm just going to try and put that cover back on, and that will protect the thermal paste till we're ready to install it. Then we can go ahead and set the radiator bracket from the top of the case into place, and we'll secure it using the short radiator screws. After removing the plastic protection, I'm just going to line the pump up with the bracket we've installed on the motherboard, and then we just need to get a thumb screw onto each corner. And then we just need to tighten each corner up in turn. So you'll notice that as I was inserting the bracket, I had these cables just on the underside of the bracket on this side, meaning that the cables are nicely organised coming up to the top of the case. Take a look in the middle here, we've got two fan headers. The top grey one is our CPU fan header, and the bottom black one is our CPU opt header. So I'm going to take the cable coming from our pump and plug it into our CPU opt header. I'm just going to route our excess cable up and through to the back. And you'll notice over here we've got an ARGB header. So I'm just going to pass our ARGB cable through the cutout to the back. I'm going to bring it back in the cutout at the side, and we'll get it plugged into the motherboard. And then there's a little daisy chainable connector coming from this, and we're just going to leave that in at the back. Again, with our AIO just sitting loosely at the top, I'm just going to pass the cables coming from our fans through to the back. And then just going to bring the PWM cable back in through that middle cutout, and we'll get it plugged into our CPU fan header at the top of the motherboard. And we'll just keep all the excess cable through to the back. So now that we've finally got all our fan cables plugged in, we're okay to install our AIO at the top. So we'll just set the brackets up into place. The last thing for us to connect up is the RGB cable coming from our fans on the radiator, and we've got a splitter cable coming from the pump cable that we've already plugged into our motherboard. So it's just a matter of lining the cables up and pushing into place. And we can remove the plastic protection from the pump.